Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Kiwi Bird's Corner. I feel like I don't get into reading slumps that often, but for some reason, right now I'm in a really big one. I've found myself over the past few days not really wanting to pick up a book or read the book that I'm currently reading right now, even though if it is a new book. And I often find myself wanting to do other activities besides reading. That's why it's the perfect time to read all 696 pages of Oliver Twist. So Oliver Twist is a classic that I wanted to read for a long time, but I never really envisioned forcing myself to read it during a reading slump. I'm hoping just sitting down and trying to read it will help me get out of the slump, but who knows. I've only ever read the abridged version, but I want to read the unabridged version because if you can't tell from 696 pages, there's obviously a lot more of the story in the unabridged version. So I'm assuming that the abridged version only has a part of the story, so I guess we're just going to find out, see if it's more of the story, an extended story or something like that. Because I remember the abridged version is kind of just like, this is a story that everyone really knows. Oliver Twist is a boy, he's poor, he is with this gang, but he doesn't know what they're doing, and then they steal, but he doesn't want to steal, kind of along those lines. And then it's about kind of a perspective on living in England that time. So it'll be really interesting to read. I'm going to be reading it on my phone because Apple Books, which is an app I have on my phone, has some free books, as I recently discovered, and one of their free books is Oliver Twist, so I thought it'd be the perfect time to read Oliver Twist when there's a free book. So this is my first time reading on my phone and reading with Apple Books, so we're going to see what that's like too. Maybe reading something new or doing something different in what I normally do to read will help me get out of my reading slump as well. Okay, so let's start reading. So I have the book here. Let's start reading. So I've been reading Oliver Twist for a few days now, and I am about halfway through on chapter XXXIV, which doesn't mean anything to me, but yeah. So right now it's pretty good. I think it is kind of helping me read more. It's really interesting. It's kind of a bit more interesting than I thought. When I first started it, it was a little bit slow. It was like, this is going to be hard to get into it, but it actually has a lot of things I didn't think would be in the story, especially after reading the abridged version. In the abridged version, it's only actually like the first part of the story. I realized that very quickly. The first part of the story, and then after that, there's this whole new other story, which I didn't really expect, but is really cool. I'm just going to continue reading it, and I really like it so far, actually. But it has been a little bit hard to just like try to pick up reading. A little harder than normal, but I think I'm getting back into the flow of reading things. Let's continue reading. Chapter XXXIV contains some introductory particulars relative to a young gentleman who now arrives upon the scene, and a new adventure which happened to Oliver. Good morning, guys. I am back home because, in case you couldn't tell, I was traveling, and so now I'm back home. And I also officially finished Oliver Twist. It was a really great read, honestly, and I gave it 5 stars, actually, because I really, really enjoyed reading it. And while I think if I read it in a different time, I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars this time just because I was in a reading slump, and reading this helped me get out of it, and I really loved the flow and reading it. It was so fun. It was very different from what I expected after, reading the abridged version some years ago. The abridged version is like a very, very small section at the start and like a very small section from the back of the story, if you know what I mean. So it was really interesting to see all of the stuff in this book and all the other characters too, because there's so much more than just Oliver Twist. We get to see lots of perspectives from lots of different characters, and that's really cool. I don't think I've ever read a classic really like that. Okay, well, that's not true. I don't think I've read a classic where I expect it to be about one person, but it's not, if you know what I mean. So that was really interesting. And also, I now understand why Charles Dickens is so famous. His writing style is amazing. Like, he has this sort of humor to it that I really love. And he does this thing where, like, there's the evil characters, and he describes them in a way using, like, nice words. Oh, like, in which we meet up with some new acquaintances, some, like, you know, he describes them in words that would make them seem more like pleasant, but we know that they're evil, and so that's what makes it kind of funny. I don't really know how to describe that writing style, but it's really, really fun to read, and so that's why I gave this book 5 stars. I just really liked it at the time, and I don't think this book is for everyone. Like, it definitely is very long, for one thing, and then not everyone will like classics, so yeah. And then I guess the ending, some people might not have liked that either, but I did like it, and it was just really good for me at the time. And if you're in a reading slump, or if you just want to try something new, classics are great for that. So maybe I wouldn't recommend starting with Oliver Twist, but I think Oliver Twist is definitely a good option for a classic, and now I want to read more Charles Dickens books, so that's good. And yes, this definitely helped me get out of my reading slump, because as soon as I finished this, I already wanted to read more books, and that was great. The starting off with it was pretty slow, but as time went on, the flow of the story just really caught me up, and I just had a great time reading it, so it was so fun. As for reading in Apple Books, I mean, I liked it. It wasn't as good as reading with like a physical book or with a Kindle, but if I had to read a book on Apple Books, or if I was just reading one of the free books they have, I think I wouldn't mind it. It's pretty good, but overall I do prefer just like actual books or Kindles. So yeah, but it was nice to just mix it up a little when you're in a reading slump, just try something new. I think that can help too. I'm glad to be out of my reading slump, and I hope that I can discover more new books that I really love, because this month already I think I have 2 5 stars, which is really unusual for me, as last month I didn't, if you want to watch my video about all the books that I read last month in January. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, so yeah, maybe if you want to try Oliver Twist, you'll enjoy it too, I don't know, but I really hope you do if you do try reading it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, as it costs absolutely nothing to you. All you have to do is click a button, and it really makes my day, so thank you so much if you do, or thank you just for watching in general, and I hope to see you on another of my videos soon.